Don't forget, on BBC Radio Sheffield at 7 o'clock every Friday, Seth and I host Steelers Hockey, the Steelers radio phone-in and chat show where we discuss everything ice hockey. And Seth, we're going to have a lot to talk about on Friday. The Sheffield Steelers 6 points clear. Would you have thought that some 10 weeks ago?
It's amazing, isn't it? You look at it at this stage and you see Dave Matzos' side starting to do the things he talked about in August and in July and June when he put this team together. And you know, the good thing, Simmsey, at this stage is with this Steelers team, they're showing the discipline, aren't they? They're playing to their systems, and they're finally showing a character that you start to understand. Earlier in the season, when they're a bit up and down, they were still getting some results, and that's the key thing. That's why right now they're 6 points clear, which nobody expected.
I think they've got better since they've gone top of the league as well.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of confidence, there's a bit of a bounce in their step. Not cockiness, not arrogance, but a lot of confidence in that camp right now. And I think since the Sheffield Steelers beat Coventry that second time, it's been a different Sheffield Steelers team, and I love the way that they're playing right now. Got to bring one player up. He's your love child. I know you adore this guy. You're cooking breakfast, dinner, and say, Rod Sarich, he's a changed player, isn't he? He's doing all the great things he's always done, but isn't doing perhaps some of the daft things that he used to do. He's been brilliant this year.
I think the big thing about Rod is, for me, offensively, there's never been a problem, has it? No, you know, me, never. You, everybody would appreciate his offensive talents, but defensively, at times he's given the puck away in bad areas that have cost the Sheffield Steelers. But the difference this year is twofold. Number one, he's playing with Steve Munn year long, as for the most part of the rotation. Playing with Steve Munn is going to help anybody. You know, you could play with Steve Munn and you start to look like a half-decent ninth-line defenseman.
I'd like to think so.
But you get Rod Sarich playing with Steve Munn, it gives him the offensive freedom to go forward because he knows he's got cover at the back. He also knows that with his forwards, he's going to get an awful lot of cover there too. And that's just allowed him to express himself a whole lot more. Be that tonight, yeah, he didn't get on the score sheet, but 3 or 4 times he's dangling players, he's going by them, he's making unbelievable.
Standing ovation on his own for that one shift, wasn't there? Yeah. Early in the second period.
And I think that's the big thing. He brings more than any other offensive defenseman. You give me Neil Martin right now, I wouldn't make that trade. You give me, you know, Tyson Teplitsky, you don't make that trade. You look across top defensemen that have played in this league over the past 10 years, and I'll bring in the Super League era right now. Offensively, he's up there, every bit as good as every one of them. You know, we'll talk about Shane McCosh. Right now,
you wouldn't make that trade, would you?
Offensively, he is up there with Shane McCosh.
David Matzos said earlier in the week, irreplaceable. That's how he described Rod Sarich. So, looking ahead, Matzos is going to have perhaps an interesting summer trying to keep hold of the likes of Sarich.
But the first thing he needs to do is talk to Becky, who demands an engagement ring and, you know, the possibility of a wedding in Sheffield at some point in the future.
We can arrange weddings. I think weddings we can arrange. Talk about another player who's playing at the top of his game right now. He's Robert Dowd, this young 19-year-old kid. Nobody knows who the hell he was when he comes into the team. David Matzos said 15 goals. I thought if he got 15 points, he might be lucky. He's going to rip that apart, isn't he? He's playing with such confidence, and he's just got such a spark, hasn't he?
Well, even if you look at the Manchester game, you see Robert Dowd, massive parts in goals 1 and goals 2. You know, not necessarily picking up the points on the scoreboard, but he was a big part of that. But more for me, more importantly at this stage, you look at his defensive qualities. He's starting to win face-offs, which is going to be a big key if he's going to play in the middle. Yeah. The second thing for me, though, is breakout in the game. There's a 2-on-1 going the other way. He reads the play, he breaks 2 zones, gets back, intercepts the pass, knocks the puck into the corner. When you've got a centre with his offensive capabilities doing the defensive side of the game, you get 2 players in one then, don't you? And it allows Robert Dowd to be played in every aspect of the game. It's great.
Friday's radio show, 7 till 8 on BBC Radio Sheffield, is only really going to be looking ahead to one game this weekend. Steelers have Saturday off, but on Sunday they travel down to Cardiff. It'll be the Sheffield Steelers' 3rd game in Wales this season, and a rink that the Steelers have been successful in. But following the last game, Seth Saurus, it could be an interesting night, couldn't it? Old Ryan Finnerty, jailer tulip. Is anything going to happen there? Oh, we're going to have Finner in, aren't we, by the way, on Friday. We've just told Finner he's coming into the radio show on Friday, so listen to that.
And he rubbed his hands with glee at the prospect.
He went, oh God, no. Did I really say that? Anyway, Ryan Finnerty, the Cardiff Devils, the Sheffield Steelers, that rivalry's back all of a sudden, isn't it? It's great.
It's like throwing back to the days where, you know, you were guaranteed a Mike Ware, Dennis Vial. Tommy Plummer would fight any of them. Yeah. All of them, if he possibly could, in the good old days. But you look at Jailer Tulip, and you look at Ryan Finnerty, you may as well just hold a mirror up between the pair and allow both of them to peck at it, because they're very similar characters. You know, Ryan Finnerty, I think, probably has better numbers throughout his career. I think he probably has got better names on his fight card. But that will be an interesting one, because that one was one that Ryan told me right after the game. I asked him the situation. I said, look, did you want to go with the tulip? What was the deal? He says, I asked him, I demanded, I begged, and he ignored me all night long until the closing seconds when he speared me.
Now Cardiff think we made it up, and he rang you as well, and he rang me, and we got the story.
I was standing with him right in the locker room, and I asked him what happened. You know, what was the situation with this?
It has to go, doesn't it, in Cardiff? It's you hate to say guarantee fight night, but that is one that the public have wanted, the teams want, the players obviously want. And it has to happen on Sunday in Cardiff.
And Gerard Adams, the Devils head coach, you know, he knows this side of the game. That was his game, you know, for years. He's a miserable so-and-so, and he'll stand there on the bench, and you can imagine him, puts the old foot up, and enjoys that whole situation, doesn't he? Gives it the old...
He doesn't fall off the bench like you just fell off the chair, though, does he?
These are cheap arena chairs.
Exactly, it's not going to be. So don't forget, tune in with Seth and I on Friday night, and Ryan Finnerty. There'll be a lot more as we discuss the Sheffield Steelers 6 points clear at the top of the league, and we have Saturday off as well, which is good because we can watch the X Factor and come dancing. Happy days all around.
Finals, isn't it? The best bit, if you miss it, BBC iPlayer as well. We're on there now. Picture of me and you looking
better than this.
Yeah.
Okay, tune in.